Hello, hello, everyone. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future, coming to you with this week's College and Career Conversations with Dr. B. Now, the conversation is going to be with me because I don't have a guest this evening, but please join in. Let me know what your questions are. So, tonight's college conversation is about a recent trip that I took to Jacksonville University in Florida. Actually, I just got back late last night. You know, those 3-hour layovers in Atlanta just about kill you when you're trying to get home, but it was okay. I always like to let people know because sometimes people say, so why do IECs travel so much? Why, now that colleges are open back up and people are traveling, why are we going out to visit colleges? And one of the reasons, well, several reasons that we visit colleges is to help us learn more about the college because when you have boots on the ground, you can actually learn a lot more about it. And the tours that we tend to have that are organized for us are different than the tours that students and their families go on because we're looking for different information. We have different questions, and we usually have the opportunity to talk to faculty members, to administrators. We typically have a student panel. And we just get to do other activities that aren't part of the normal campus tour. And that helps us help our students. So, again, if you're here watching tonight, please join in. Let me know who's here because I always like to know that I'm not talking to myself, even though I've been known to do that at times. So, again, we're going to be talking about Jacksonville University, and I'm always going to have a book. So, come back in about 30 seconds. Go get your quick drink or whatever you're going to do, and sit back and relax. This one's going to be short, maybe about 30 minutes, because I don't want to just be blabbing. So again, see you in about 30 seconds. Hey, and we are back. So, as I said before we did our quick 30-second commercial, is that I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Jacksonville University and the trip that I had the opportunity to take this past Monday and Tuesday. So, it was an IEC fly-in. So, the folks at Jacksonville University generously bought in there were probably about 15 of us, 13, I think there were 13 of us onto the campus, and we had about a day. We had a full a day and a half to learn a little bit about Jacksonville University. Now, what I'm going to tell you is only a snippet. So I strongly encourage that if there's anything that you hear that's of interest to you or makes you want to learn more about Jacksonville University, that you definitely research their website and reach out to the folks in admissions or the other departments if you would like to learn more, because this will not do the visit justice, but just wanted to share it with you. So first of all, on the first evening, once we got in, we did have a wonderful dinner on this rooftop restaurant, and we also got the opportunity to see where their law school is going to be located in downtown. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, and I'll also tell you about why I'm wearing this T-shirt. So first of all, let me just get my notes up here because if I don't have notes, I'll just ramble on and on and on. So one of the first things I want to talk about just a little bit is their Marine Science Research Institute. So on the Tuesday morning, we had the opportunity, once we left the hotel, instead of getting in the vans and driving to campus, we actually went on their Marine Science Research Institute boat and went across St. John's River over to the campus. So it was about maybe about 35-minute, 40-minute ride across the river. And along the way, we did get to see some dolphins. I was so excited about looking at the dolphins. I didn't get any video of it, but that's okay because I got to see them, and it was really, really great. while we were there, while we were on the boat, Dr. White, one of their esteemed faculty members, um, gave us some information about St. John's River and what we were seeing and how the area has changed over time. He is probably one of the biggest experts on the St. John's River. And when you go on to Jacksonville University's website, and I'll be posting pictures later, I haven't put my pictures up yet. You will be able to see how integral that St. John's River is to the work that they do at the Marine Science Research Institute at Jacksonville University. So one of the things that they do, and this is, so if you have a student that's interested in marine science, this is definitely a great option for them to look into. Jacksonville is a private university in Jacksonville, Florida. They're on 240 acres. And as I said, they're along the St. John's River. So just a beautiful area there. So one of the things I want to do, I want to share my screen with you. And just show you some information about. So one of the things they get the opportunity to do is work with the organization called OSearch. And in working with OSearch, students get to do a lot of hands-on work through the Marine Science Research Institute along with OSearch. So they get they really get hands-on opportunities to do so much work. But I did want to focus on this one organization. And what I'm going to try to do is show you this video so that you get an opportunity to hear from a student about what they get to do at this particular. So let me get this going for you. Whoops. Can you guys hear that? Let me know if you can hear that, because on my end I can. I think it's because of my microphone. So let me know if you can hear it. Those of you that are watching it, just put in the comments, yes, I can hear it, or no, I can't hear it. Okay, I don't see any comments. I'm hoping you can hear this. Like I said, because the way my microphone is, I can't. Okay, so I'm not sure if you could hear it. I can't, like I said, I couldn't hear it because I have my microphone in there, so it wasn't allowing me to do it. So let's get back to, let's remove this. Okay, so I don't know if you heard that or not, but they get to do quite a bit of work. She was working with helping them tag a shock and do some other work with OSearch. So that was definitely something that we want to think about. And that's something that you want your students to look for. What kind of opportunities are available to them when they go to a college? If they're interested in doing marine science, what's available to them? And when you go on their website and you look at this Marine Science Institute, you will see that there is quite a bit that's offered to them in order to be able to do this. So I'm just trying to, there we go. So the next thing I want to talk about is their nursing program. So we know that there are a shortage of nurses across the United States. And Jacksonville University has a fantastic nursing program. And one of the questions that we always ask, one of the first questions we always ask, is it a direct admit program? And for those who aren't familiar with the different ways that students can be admitted to nursing programs, let me explain that to you briefly. So, direct admit means that a student when they apply to the college and they apply to nursing, they are directly admitted into the nursing program, which means they will start their nursing courses during that first year, that first semester. When it's a two-tier system, the student is admitted into the college or university, but they must go through their freshman and sophomore year taking a prescribed list of courses, and based on their GPA, usually their overall GPA, their GPA in their math and science classes, and usually an internal assessment that they have to take. That will determine whether or not they will continue into their junior year in the nursing program. It's wonderful when you can get into a direct admit program. So the one at Jacksonville University is a direct admit program. And right now, their freshman cohort, they're looking at having 52 students. So that's always nice to know what the cohort is, because that helps you understand the competitiveness of the program. Because people will say, well, I'm going to apply to nursing. And they, think there's just all these spaces available for nursing, because if a college is bringing in 800 incoming freshmen or first year students, you may say, oh, well, how many of those are nursing students? So Jacksonville did say that they have about 52 spots. So think about that. And the reason why cohorts are kept smaller is because you want to make sure that you have the equipment and the faculty you need for the clinical work. And for if they have a simulation lab, you want to make sure that there is adequate time for students to get into the into that simulation lab. Well, mouth is not working again, folks. So again, that's why it's always important, if you're applying to a nursing program, if you can find out what the cohort is, how many students are they accepting into the nursing program. Now, another thing that they have that I really liked, and let me see if I can pull this up. So as we were, viewing the nursing program and over in the, healthcare building, one of the things we had the opportunity to do was to go into their lab and see what they were doing. Now, they have a lab. It's called the Simulation Training and Applied Research, their STAR Center, where they have 14 patient simulators from newborn to geriatric. So these patient simulators, if you haven't seen them, I would highly recommend that you go on YouTube and see if you can find one. There's actually some on their website. There are a couple of pictures on there, but what they are patient simulators are models that have that are programmed, excuse me, I can't talk today, that are programmed to have all those different symptoms that they would have with patients. And the instructor can control what types of symptoms they're responding to. So in the newborn, they can make the newborn cry, they can make the newborn do all kinds of things. They can make patients like they're throwing up. We had one that was simulating a patient throwing up. You can simulate a patient wheezing. You can control their heart rate. You can control what the sound of their lungs is like. This gives nursing students the opportunity to practice on these simulators before they're working with real patients. The other neat thing that they had for their programs is what they call okay, I am really messing up today. Anatomic table. So typically when medical students or students in healthcare or nursing or anatomy are working on learning different things about the body, sometimes you have cadavers. So this is actually what they call a reusable cadaver. It's a table, and I'm going to see if I'm just going to show you a brief bit of it because, as I said, I'm not sure the sound is coming out on your end. I know it's not on mine, but that's because of my microphone. So this is what the table looks like, and as you can see, it's allowing folks to see different body parts and what have you. And I actually probably need to share my screen, which I did not do. There we go. So you're able to see what's going on. Okay, so I'm only going to show a little bit of that, but you can always go to YouTube and find any of these videos. You just put in this name and you will find it. So let me stop that and come back here and take this off the screen. So again, when you're looking at a college and you're looking at nursing programs or any kind of healthcare programs, those are the types of things you want to see. What type of equipment do they have that's up to date? What are they doing to prepare their nursing students for real world experiences before they actually are out there working with patients? So ask those type of questions. And if that's part of the tour, it's a great thing to see. So again, ask those questions. You also want to find out about, if you can, the ratio again of students to nurses, students to faculty member, because you want to make sure that your students are getting the opportunity to get the hours in they need, the clinical rotation time in that they need. So definitely ask those questions. So those are two programs, the Marine Science Research Institute and the nursing program. So let me move on now to one of the programs that I really wanted to know about. So let's see. Okay. So one of the programs that I wanted to know about was the School of Aviation. So they have a wonderful School of Aviation on their campus. And here's one of the differences. Instead of getting a Bachelor of Science in Aeronautical Science, you actually get a business degree in either flight management or aviation operations. Flight management is the business side of aviation, whereas aviation operations is the actual flying component of it. So you'll get a business degree in one or the other. So that's really, really interesting, and I thought that was something that um, was a bit of information that I wouldn't have known. Okay, I guess of course, if I had gone on the website and was reading through, but it was nice to hear that from a student and talk about how he plans to use that degree. So he was just finishing up. We were with a student who was in his senior year, so he's finishing up and getting ready to graduate and getting out there and doing what he needs to do. So again, aviation. So think about that. So what else did I want to talk to you about? Let's see. Oh, I don't think I mentioned the population. So they have almost 3,000 undergraduate students. They have a little over 4,000 students but that includes their graduate students. So they do have graduate programs on campus. We did talk about some of those graduate programs, but I'm just going to stick with the undergraduate programs. So the other thing that, so again, so this on the School of Aviation, let me just show you this really quickly. Let's see if I still have this up here. Let's see. Yes. So let me share this with you. So this is the website for their School of Aviation. One of the things I really strongly recommend that students do whenever you're interested in a particular department, whether it's aviation, whether it's business, whether it's performing arts, when you have the opportunity, go on the website and after reading about the program itself, go and check out the section on faculty and staff. Find out who's going to be instructing you. If they're if the information is on there, you might want to know what their research interests are, what their background is, what kind of work have they done in that particular field. This is good for, especially when you start reaching out to people and you want to do internships or you want to do some research. So, for example, we have Dr. Gail Mason here, who is a clinical assistant professor of aviation. And if you were to click on this link that takes us to her bio in the directory, we get some great information about Dr. Mason. So we know where she graduated from, what her degrees were in. Um, so she has a PhD in public administration, aerospace safety, and systems analysis. Um, so we know that she worked for American Airlines right after she graduated. She flew commercially for 31 years, and it goes on to talk about the different types of aircraft that she flew in. Um, Talks a little bit about how she began flying, and just gives you a little bit of more information about her. So it's like I said, it's always nice to know who's teaching you and what kind of work that they've done in the past. Another one of the professors, and actually, she is the associate director and chief instructor for the aviation program. And goes on again, gives us information about her background. So she has a Bachelor of Science degree in aeronautical science, a master's degree in aeronautics management, and a master's degree in business administration. So you know this is someone who has been studying aeronautics and aviation for a while. So again, go on, look to see what kinds of things they're doing. And actually, I think Alex is the person that you would contact if you wanted to learn more about their aviation program. And one of the things that they offer is virtual meetings with families or students if they want to learn more about aviation. If you're not able to go on campus, it's always nice to really be able to go on campus and see what everything looks like. So again, that's something to think about. And again, you can see the other faculty members in that department. Gives you all the information if you wanted to get in contact with someone. So again, as it says here, if you're interested in attending an aviation session or a campus tour and you haven't already scheduled one, you can go on to here and do that. It gives you all that information. So it's definitely important for you to do that. This is the homepage for the School of Aviation. Gives you a little bit more here. You always get these nice pop-ups here. So it gives you a little bit more information. There's a nice video where this young man is talking about the drones. And again, as you see here, as I said, it's a business degree. So it's located in the Davis College of Business and Technology. Gives you information about their program, some highlights of their program, so that you can compare it to other programs. And if you click on this button here, it gives you additional frequently asked questions. So that's something that you might want to look into. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, so let me just go here for a second. So one of the things that we have the opportunity that we always want to know when we're on college visits, it's what are upcoming programs? What things are you doing to change or improve or revise or to bring new things to students? So one of the upcoming things they have is their STEAM Institute. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this acronym, STEAM is Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. So we have the arts in there. And one of the things that they will be doing is revamping their STEAM Institute, the building where part of it is currently located. And they will be putting all kinds of great things together. So let me just quickly bring you to this. So this is a rendering of what their STEAM Institute is going to look like. So again, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And as it says, it's helping students focus on developing the skills valued most by employers: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, so that they can envision and build a bright future while continuously learning and growing. So, as you can see here, you can see this is a rendering of what their creative space is going to look like. And they are hoping that, barring any supply chain issues, that this space will be open during their winter term or as soon as possible. So again, it gives you some information. You can learn more about STEAM. You can learn more about what they're doing with this institute. So here's a rendering of what their digital design studio will look like. And again, as it says here, this is going to be a collaborative, open format environment for designers, storytellers, and visual communicators, supporting hands-on shared learning experiences to foster independent thinking. So again, they're really looking at taking all of these disciplines and creating a space where people can collaborate, because everything is about collaboration and working as a team. So just looking at a few more of those renderings, this is the section actually for their financial marketing. So this is going to be their trading room, once everything is completed. And here's another creative collaborative workspace where people can get together and work on whatever projects they have. I really love this. So you can go through this and you can learn a little bit more about the creative spaces. So they're going to have creative spaces. They're going to have a cybersecurity lab, an animation studio, film and media studio, film equipment co-op, a film editing suite with a VR studio, media screening, machine shop, robotic design, mechanical and product design lab, freshman design, math space, communication space, and advanced physics lab. So there's going to be quite a bit in this space. And if you want to learn more about it, I definitely encourage you to go on to their website and look up the STEAM Institute and see if that's something that you may be interested in, or if you know of another student, they may be interested in that. So moving on, let me pull this out of here. So moving on, one of the things that we did get to do, we got to talk a little bit about the sports and other things that activities that students would do. But in particular, I wanted to talk about their lacrosse facility. So they have a brand new lacrosse facility. So actually, I want to say it opened in 2019, and it's only one of three facilities in colleges that's completely dedicated to lacrosse. So they have women's lacrosse and they have men's lacrosse. So if you know someone that is interested in lacrosse and is playing lacrosse and wants to continue playing lacrosse at the collegiate level, have them check out the lacrosse program at Jacksonville University. So there was something I was going to say. So like I said, it's only one of only three lacrosse only facilities. 42 women right now, 16 men. In this facility, they have a film room, they have a recovery room, and they have an academic room. And one of the things the coach told us that warmed my heart, and I know made everybody else happy, is that they have a strong relationship with the professors. So if people aren't going to class, they're going to know about it that same day. So you are a student athlete. So that's important to remember that. So that was interesting when he told us that. So some of the upcoming things, I told you about the STEAM Institute, that they're in the process of redesigning, reconfiguring a room to do that. They also have a College of Law in the ViStar Tower building, which is Jacksonville University's downtown location. So that is something to think about if you're interested in that. And coming in 2025, they hope will be a program in physical therapy. So those are some of the highlights of the trip that we took. But one other thing I want to mention. So we know that COVID has put a lot of our kids in a crazy space, not crazy, in different spaces, as far as mental health. I mean, all of us, being isolated, not being able to do certain things has certainly affected the mental health of all of us. And with this being National Mental Health Awareness Month, one of the questions that was asked is, what is Jacksonville University doing? Or how are they addressing students' mental health? So we wanted to know, if a student does have mental health concerns, what are the services like that are available to them? So one of the things that we did find out is that, first of all, unlimited visits. Sometimes there may be a cap on how many visits that you can make to the counseling center. But at Jacksonville University, it's unlimited visits and there is no extra fee. That's all part of your tuition and what have you. And there's also no wait list. So they've made sure that they have enough people on staff. And they also use people in their graduate programs to help them do that work. So again, that's something to think about. And that's one of the questions you might want to ask as you're doing a college tour. Once you graduate from Jacksonville University, you have a transition month. So you still have access to the mental health care services a month after you graduate as you transition and finding other um, other possibilities. Now, before I introduce my book, I want to talk about this shirt. So PODS. PODS stands for Pathways of Distinction. So one of the things Jacksonville University really wants to make sure they do is help their students understand and be able to explore all the possibilities that are available to them within their academic coursework. So they strongly encourage students to double major when they can, pick up minors. And sometimes students will say, well, I don't see how I can do that. Now, they all have advisors, they all have academic advisors. But one of the things that's really cool, and I'm going to pull mine up here, is they have developed an app and it's called JU Pods. And what they can do is they can go on here and they can explore, plan, and start their pathway of distinction. So with the app, they can go in and they can say, okay, well, what if I major in this and this? How many credits is that? And what does that plan look like? So here's the app. This is the Android version. So, and you can go on and you can download the app and play around with it. So it asks if you're a student. So when you go in, it will ask you, let's see. So after you accept the privacy notice, then it will ask you, who are you? Are you a current student, future student, or it says other? And then once you go in, it will give you the opportunity to go in and look at the various majors, and you click on it. And then when you put in your email, it also emails that information to you. So it's pretty cool. I really like it. And as someone who's really interested in how students make career decisions and having the opportunity to explore and learn, I think this is a great thing. So, you go in, you select your status, you select two areas of interest, you provide your email before clicking the next button, and then you'll get a summary of your pathways of distinction. So again, this is what it looks like, and this is on Android. I'm not sure if the Apple version is up and running yet. This is one time I was glad that I had Android because my version was up and running. So again, that's something I want you to think about. So that's called Pods, just so that you can see it. Again, it's JU Pods, and it is an app. And I really wanted to speak to the hospitality of the whole team, from President Koss to Provost Spaziano to Julia Weisner, who put this all together. I mean, there was just way too many people to name. Everyone was welcoming. They had welcoming signs all over the place. If you go on my Facebook page, Steps to the Future, you'll see some of those welcoming signs. But one of the neatest things, and I am surprised that mine is still here in one piece, but I'll be enjoying it tonight. is this delicious chocolate covered butter popcorn. So when I'm watching my favorite show or watching one of my shows tonight, if I get to do that, or reading a book, I will be eating this. So I just want to thank folks at Jacksonville University for having us there and for the wonderful hospitality. Now for the book. Now I know I talked about this book before, but with students graduating, high school graduations coming up, I think this is a great book, so I'm going to just talk about it again. You may have already read it. It's Your Turn: How to Be an Adult, and it's by Julie Lythcott-Haims, and it just is a really good read. I mean, when I read it, I remember thinking, where was this book when I was getting out of college? And I'm thinking, where was this book like last year? I said, I've learned a few things that maybe I needed to be doing. It's all about adulting. So let me just read you a little bit of the inside front cover. What does it mean to be an adult? In the 20th century, psychologists came up with 5 markers of adulthood. Finish your education, which people are doing, get a job, leave home, marry, and have children. Since then, every generation has been held to those same markers, yet so much has changed about the world and living in it since that sequence was formulated. All of those markers are choices, and they're all valid, but any one person's choices along those lines do not make them more or less an adult. So it says being an adult, it turns out, is not about any particular checklist. It is instead a process, one you can get progressively better at over time, becoming more comfortable with uncertainty and gaining the knowledge and know-how to keep going. Once you begin to practice it, being an adult becomes the most complicated yet the most abundantly rewarding and natural thing. And Julie Lythcott-Haims is here to help readers take their turn. Great graduation gift. So if you know folks graduating from high school, I highly recommend this book. Again, this is Dr. B from Steps to the Future, talking to you a little bit about Jacksonville University. As I said, that was just a snippet of the university. There is so much more to the university than what I told you, but definitely make sure that you go on their website and do your research. If you're interested in getting monthly information, please subscribe to my Steps newsletter. The URL is there. And in this month's newsletter, the main newsletter, there's a little hidden nugget. But if you don't read the newsletter, you won't know that there is a secret drawing that you could be a part of. But you have to subscribe to the newsletter. And if you're already a subscriber, you better read it so that you can enter the drawing, and that's the only way you're going to know about it. Also, I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is made up of these videos and also others that I'm doing in the process of doing. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is the URL here. Love for you to do it, trying to get my numbers up so I can do a few things. And if you ever have any questions, if you're looking for someone to work with your child, or you know someone that's college bound, Steps to the Future is here to help families eliminate random acts of college planning. So this is Dr. B. I will see you sometime next week. Now, we know we usually do these on Mondays, but next week I will be heading out to the IECA spring conference in Philly. So I am going to probably do a pop-up maybe on Wednesday evening. I have to check with folks and have some of my colleagues join in so we can talk about the work we do, what we've learned. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we'll be attending all kinds of sessions and getting more information to help our students. And some people will also be touring Monday morning. I'll be part of a panel presentation on Monday. And then on Thursday and Friday, some of us will be visiting colleges. So I will be out on the road again. So thank you so much for joining in. Those of you who are watching this on the replay, thank you for taking time to watch it on the replay. I really appreciate you being here. So take care, everyone, and see you soon. Bye-bye.